GameSpot presents the HotSpot. It is Wednesday, January 11th. I am your host, Brendan Sinclair. Your substitute host, as Tom Magrino is still at CES. Joining me in the studio today, we have, who's that? That's Tom McShay.
Hey, it is me. There I am on the TV that I can see.
Yeah, and who's on this button? That's Justin Calvert.
I'm substitute for who? Chris?
I don't know.
Is he a regular?
We'll say you're a substitute for Sean.
I'm a substitute for Sean McInnes.
And then our substitute for Kevin, Carolyn Pettit.
Hi, and you substituting for Tom Magrino. I know you're new at this, and I wish you the best of luck in this coming hour. We're gonna make you work pretty hard.
Man, I wish I would have said something like that. That was great. Can we from the top? I'm gonna steal a joke.
Hello and welcome to GameSpot presents. No, it's okay. So, as some of you may know, I used to host this when it was a audio-only podcast, and now it's video, and I have to pay attention to these buttons that switch to people like Justin and Tom and Caro. I'm just gonna let that one linger for a while.
Yeah, real awkwardly.
This is a great tool to make the guests feel really uncomfortable.
It is a tool, all right.
Okay, let's start with Justin Calvert, because Karo's the substitute Kevin, but I don't care. Justin.
I think Justin and I combine our powers to become Kevin
like
Van
a
Ord.
Van Ord Voltron.
Yes.
Fair enough. Buttons. Okay.
You're doing great with the buttons, by the way, Brendan.
Thank you. Star Wars The Old Republic came out.
Yeah, it did.
Kevin reviewed it. 8.0.
He did, yeah. 8.0.
Justify his review.
Just I don't read that stuff. No, I mean, that's pretty much the only game I've been playing over the break and stuff, and I'm having a great time with it. My only real criticism, which I think Kevin kind of brought up in his review, is just that to me at least, it feels a lot like a kind of a single player game. Like it feels like a really, really good BioWare single player game. You just happen to bump into a few other people occasionally.
Yeah. Justin and I are both playing as bounty hunters.
We'll find it. There's Karen.
Hi.
There she is.
So we're both playing as bounty.
I was looking pensive though.
And I think Justin and I agreed that the story is really compelling for the bounty hunter. But if this were like KOTOR 3 or something, and it had this character arc, the story arc, I would definitely want to play it and want to see it through. But the MMO elements, they don't feel as integral to the experience to me at all. I mean, they're okay. They work really well. They're fine, but it's not what draws me to the game, and it leads to a little bit of weirdness because typically I think in an MMO like WoW or whatever, you choose your class kind of based on your desired play style. Like, I want to be a tank, or I want to be a healer. Here, the classes do fit into those kind of archetypes, but I chose a bounty hunter. I don't give a crap about what their play style is. I just wanted to see, as the story and the bounty hunter in the Star Wars universe, Boba Fett, and these were always the characters that I found kind of the most intriguing. So that's why I gravitated to them. Like, what is the life of a bounty hunter like? So
and the weird thing about probably most classes, the only one I've really played is bounty hunter, but the weird thing about the bounty hunter as well is you can play it as a tank, a healer, or a DPS class.
Yeah.
Like you get to sort of level 10, 11, and then you choose to specialize as either a mercenary or a...
What's the other one? Yeah.
Can you do that with any of the classes?
Yes.
Yeah.
They all
have two, they call it an advanced class.
So you've got like a Jedi tank.
Ooh.
Basically,
Don't give Lucas ideas.
I think there probably is, yeah. I wish I could remember what the other Bounty Hunter Advanced class is called, but basically the one that I chose to play as, the Mercenary, I then have 3 skill trees to spend points in, one of which is healing.
So why not a Rancor trainer?
I already did that in Galaxies. So.
And they took it away from you.
And plus, every class in Old Republic is a pet class, technically, because you have your companion who is really just a pet.
Mako is not a pet, okay?
Yours might not be.
She's a person with thoughts and feelings and opinions about the choices I make on my conversation trees.
Mine's a healing pet.
Okay.
Who occasionally dislikes my light side choices, but mostly really likes them.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have thoughts, opinions, and feelings on a whole bunch of other stuff this week. And I know we've talked a lot about the Old Republic, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
Consumer Electronics Show. It's where Magrino is this week. It is just some big tech cluster mess in Las Vegas every year. It's an awful place. Don't ever go, kids. But they show off some new stuff. So, biggest news from CES. Tom.
I liked the picture of the lens that Sean put on his Twitter account.
Picture of a camera lens.
Put a camera
The
lens.
one that Tyler posted as well?
It was
It
the one
looked
that was like
satellite or something.
32,000, and he said he needed it to post twit pics in the future. I laughed.
Yeah, that seems like about the biggest news from CES.
Well, it's up there. It's top 70.
Well, okay, to recap for
You've got to put me on the
gamers.
spot with that one.
Yeah,
I didn't know I was gonna get that question.
Oh, come on.
I gave you a list of things you can and cannot say to Mr. McShay, and that wasn't on the list.
I really wish you had actually made a list like that.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have broken every single one of those rules.
I wish I had a handler.
I wish you had a handler.
That would be weird.
Okay, so big news, big-ish news. PlayStation Vita is going to have Netflix on day one if Netflix can get its stuff together.
That's the big news? That's the thing you're mocking me for the camera thing? That's not news.
No, this is the whole point of this.
Okay. There's no device that doesn't have. Every device has Netflix at this point.
And then on Microsoft's side, what was the big news from Microsoft? Connect for PC
Connect
comes
for
out
PC,
February 1st.
$250.
$250.
There's a Connect 4 game coming out for the PC where like you
Yes.
that's super. Can I play it online with my friends? Connect 4?
But it's a little overpriced at $250.
I was gonna say. I mean, hey, yeah, you can't put a price on a classic like Connect 4.
I like that joke. Connect 4.
EA did just have a press conference that they live streamed where they showed off 4-player Scrabble.
Across
Yeah, that's
across
true.
like Android and iOS. I don't know how to pronounce that other one. The Apple one.
iOS. just say EOS.
Yes.
It's good enough.
This
So
is gonna be a bad episode. I'm sorry, guys.
yeah,
I'm in one of those moods where I want to ruin everything that Brendan holds near and dear.
you think I hold this near and dear? No, Magrino,
no.
Magrino took a flamethrower to the show after I left. You think I'm happy to be sitting here fiddling with video buttons all the time?
You seem really happy about it, actually.
Okay. So there's one thing out of CES that I know you wanted to talk about, Tom. This was like in the last hour. You sent me a link to this thing saying, "Can we specifically talk about this?"
Is it the stuff for waterproofing your iPhone?
Yes, because that's exactly what McShay cares about.
No, I forwarded a press release thing to Sean where there's some stuff. I don't know if it's a spray or something, but you cover your gadgets in it, and then you can just drop it in water, and they won't be harmed. So I was hoping for some kind of video thing we could just spray Sean in it and throw him in a pool. He hasn't responded yet, so I assume he's working on it.
Oh my god.
How would you know when you normally put Sean in the
I don't-
pool? Does he scream
Yeah, he
and
normally,
short circuit?
normally shrivels up, goes a
Usually
funny color.
Wow. Okay.
So Tom, Gaikai, one of their executives said that the next generation of consoles, Microsoft or Sony, one or the other, is not going to be there.
Yes, this was something that was said. They're like the cloud people, I guess, right?
Yeah, Gaikai is it's a lot like On Live, basically, streaming service where you pay your. Actually, I'm not sure if it's subscription based, but I know they do the same thing where they have play PC games, demo them through web pages. Where I'm doing a poor job explaining this because I'm worried about video. Every problem this episode, I'm blaming on the video, so it's not me. At
I
all.
get a free pass.
Totally. So they said that the Microsoft and Sony aren't going to be there, and you found this plausible, Tom?
Well, they said one of them won't be there.
Which
I do think it's
pick one.
possible. Well, I don't think Sony's going to have a conventional next generation console. I don't think they'll have a PS4, I guess.
Why not? Why you put the conventional thing in there very specifically and intentionally?
I guess because I don't think it's going to be like the standard box where you plug in a controller and you put a game in the disc and you spend $500 or $300 to get it in your home. I don't think we're going to see that. I think that that's an outdated thing, and I think the Wii U will be a success, and I think it will be awesome, actually. But Nintendo can get away with outdated ideas, and I think consoles are outdated. I think they can get away with it because their software lineup is so good that it doesn't matter. people will spend $300 to play Nintendo games. I don't think that other companies have that. And I think Sony is losing enough money right now that they are going to try to find a different way to get into the game industry other than just a conventional set-top box. That's my guess.
Right. And we were talking earlier about this, and you were saying, well, what could a new console bring to the table at this point to make it worthwhile? I mean,
Nintendo, because Nintendo is
they have an interesting concept that the Wii U is rooted around.
Yes.
But I mean, yeah, like is it going to be more graphical power? I mean, do we need, like, at this point, is that, I mean, look at where the highest end PCs are. If Sony puts out a new console that kind of can match that or whatever, like, is that going to be worth shelling out $300, $400, $500 for that minuscule kind of visual? I don't know. I just don't. I'm curious to see what consoles are going to bring to the table in the future. If I think Tom's right, actually, that the conventional consoles in general are sort of probably soon going to go the way of the dodo. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what.
Well, we've heard Pachter. I think Pachter said for years, like, the PS4 generation will be the last generation, but it could come sooner than that. Like, it could be like right now this is it. It's the Wii U will be a success, and that'll be the last conventional thing that's a success, and everything else will be slightly weird.
The reason I don't think this is going to happen with this generation is I don't think anyone is desperate enough to try and push the technology ahead of its time, basically.
So, like, Nintendo, the GameCube was a mild success, and they're like, we have to do something crazy here, and we're going to do...
Right, they knew they'd be left behind against...
Okay. Whereas Sony and Microsoft are doing well enough that they can still do the conventional thing.
Yeah. They're not with their backs against the wall to the point where they have to, like, go crazy and do something like Nintendo did with the Wii.
Well, both companies as a whole, not their game company divisions, but both companies are losing money. And Sony's been losing money for years, right? So, I mean, they are in a little more dire straits than I think you're giving them credit for. You're supposed to make money as a company, and they're losing money.
As a company, yes, but the pressure is probably not going to be felt as keenly by the gaming division if the gaming division is still making money.
But the gaming divisions, don't they lose money in the beginning anyway? Like, if you're losing money as a company and all of a sudden you release a new system and you're like, okay, it's gonna take 4 years, but we'll make money on the 4th year. Like, that's tough for a company that's already losing money to swallow, isn't it?
Not if they.
It is. So, I mean, maybe they won't announce this at E3 2012. Maybe they'll announce it 2013 and release in 2014 or something. Like, that's always been Sony's plan, kind of, is to extend the life cycle as far as possible.
That's true.
And with the level of technology you could get from, like, a bleeding edge console right now, I don't think it would be light years ahead of what the PS3 and 360 are already offering. So they're probably less inclined to go there.
Justin, what are you thinking about this?
I still really like the rumors about the Microsoft thing being like a
tablet.
Portable.
Yeah, a tablet that will dock. So you dock it under your TV, and to all intents and purposes, it then functions as a regular game console. But then you undock it and you take it with you on your commute or whatever, and you take some portion of the games that you're playing. You can play exactly the same way on it, or maybe you play as a touchscreen, or maybe you have your Bluetooth controller. You can
Won't that be like really expensive though? Because I don't know. iPad, isn't it like 600 bones?
Well, the next one won't be.
Right.
I think it'll survive at that price.
Yeah. The cost it takes to create that technology rapidly decreases, and companies will quickly get to the point where they can produce it cheaply enough that can be profitable. And it's ideas like that get me excited. I mean, I do want. I mean, because we can't see the increase in graphical fidelity that we saw with every console generation in the past, but consoles, if with creative thinking behind them, can still provide exciting new experiences. I'm all over that. I mean, that sounds awesome.
Speaking of the next gen of consoles, GameSpot Tracks ran a survey of GameSpot readers last month, where they asked a whole bunch of questions about, like, what is it that you're looking for from the next gen of consoles? What do you think you're going to get from them? And there were some interesting results. We ran an editorial on them earlier, but some of the basic nuggets are people really like their backwards compatibility.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
It's so weird because how often does
But you never
anyone
use
use it? I mean, you kind of feel. I mean, and I feel the same. Like when a new console is announced, it's like, well, God, I have all these PS2 games. They better be backwards compatible so I can still play them. That I don't have to leave my PS2 hooked up. But then the thing comes along, and I use it maybe once or twice.
Yeah, once there's some like shiny new thing out, like the next generation, all these games are really cool and shiny, and I want to go back and play some of those late release PS2 games. I don't think I even played God of War 2 for the longest time, because when it came out it just wasn't like as new and exciting as these other games, even though it was far superior to like just about any other game that any other game.
Literally every game in 2007 was worse.
2007? That's when God of War 2 came out?
Yeah, it's like March 2007.
Oh wow.
Jeez. Yeah, but I totally get that. But at the same time, like I don't have a 3DS, but I've been borrowing the work one. I like downloading old games. Like that's fine for backwards compatibility. Just let me buy it for $5 or $10 again.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Like it's so weird. I don't care about backwards compatibility most of the time. I rarely use it, but yeah, the 3DS, I cannot stop downloading and playing. Like I just beat the Game Boy version of Bionic Commando, which was one of my favorite NES games, and I loved being able to play the Game Boy version, which I'd never played before. I mean, I can't get enough of these old games. I'm constantly. I mean, even with the Wii Virtual Console, I'm crazy about old games.
So Justin does a lot of backwards compatibility stuff. That's all you do.
No. I'm kind of with Caro. I'm using my 3DS to play mostly Game & Watch games. And,
so is this games you've played or games that are new to you now?
The Game & Watch games are mostly ones I used to have when I was a kid.
Okay.
And they translate really well to the DS, especially the two-screen ones, obviously.
Yeah.
So what gets me about the backwards compatibility thing is this is a new machine that you're buying for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and your most wanted feature is that it will let you play the games that you're already playing on your older system.
Yeah. Yes,
that you already own.
Well, I mean, I don't have a Game Boy lying around, a black and white, Game Boy. I can't play.
Yeah,
when people talk about backwards compatibility as a system feature, they're not talking about backwards compatible to things from 15 and 20 years ago.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's part of what sets apart. Like the 3DS, Virtual Console, these 15-year-old games. That's, to me, it's in a different category from just backwards compatibility. Obviously,
I would separate those two ideas.
Yeah, they definitely are separate ideas.
Yes.
So the survey, you had above 80% saying backwards compatibility was very important or somewhat important to them, and that was better even than like better graphics as a feature of your next gen console. So basically, you could re-release your current gen console.
Right, exactly.
Backwards
The
compatible.
PlayStation 4, it's totally backwards compatible with the PlayStation 3, and it doesn't have any new other
anything.
The
And then the next
PS3 is forwards compatible. It turns out.
Right.
So,
the next thing on that list is ability to download full games, which the PS3 can do.
Yeah.
Better integration of motion controls. I guess the better makes it. But I mean, you're not going to get better motion controls than the Move, are you? Those are virtually flawless when they're used correctly. I guess the PS3 is really
it's the pinnacle.
I guess streaming games, that's a new thing. I don't know if that is.
PS3's got Blu-ray.
Yep.
It's all good.
Yes.
It only does everything.
Integration with other platforms. It connects with the PSP, right? Isn't that a thing that it does?
Yes, it does.
3D compatible. Everything is with the PS3.
You can transfer.
These are some unimaginative people. It's social integration, touch-driven. The only thing that doesn't have is touch-driven, but only 18% of people want that.
The interesting thing for me is that the difference between what people want from the next gen, what they think will be important, and then what they think they'll actually get. Because the backwards compatibility, something like 1 in 4 people basically said, yeah I think we're going to get backwards compatibility. And a part of that, I think, was driven by like Xbox Live Arcade and PSN games, all the downloadable stuff. I think a lot of people are just kind of assuming that they're going to be left out in the cold. And then once the new consoles are out, Microsoft, Sony, and everyone's going to try and sell them the same games again. Like, hey, you downloaded this for $10 a few years ago. Now you can get it in the, with our new social features integrated for another $10.
They can't do that.
No,
surely.
I don't think so.
That'd be filthy.
How long have you been covering this
I've been
industry?
buying all those games and not playing them yet. They can't. Can't take them away from me when
saving
I
them
replace
for
my
a rainy
console.
day.
Yeah.
Though only 74% of people think we're going to get better graphics. So maybe these respondents are not thinking.
Well, they also
We're going to get better graphics. I mean, the Wii U, better graphics. Like you're going to get better graphics. It's going to happen.
right, but they also think backwards compatibility 1 and 4. But the Wii U has already been said that it's going to be backwards compatible.
Yeah, but
So-
not. I don't know about the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
So that might only be half backwards compatible. I hope it's virtual. I don't want to re-buy Mario 64 again, and I will, but I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't really want to buy Wave Race 64 again.
I will kick.
But
your,
I will.
I will kick your butt in that game.
Never.
Was there anything else from? Oh yeah, purchase intent. So
yeah.
GameSpot readers were, I think, 13% of them said yes, I plan on buying the Wii U when it comes out, compared to about 34% and 36% for the PS4 and Xbox 720 or whatever you want to call them, whenever they come out.
And whenever they know what they are.
Yeah.
Does does that maybe just reflect, I don't know the answer to this, but maybe it just reflects the sort of pre-existing breakdown of GameSpot's readership? Like maybe more of our readers, few of our readers are interested in the Wii and what Nintendo's doing these days, or so I don't know if it's a sort of scientific sample of the general public or what. Anyway, it's just a thought.
Yeah, it wasn't advertised as a
No.
scientific
I
sample.
understand that. I'm just saying it was just a thought.
There were a lot of people in the comments and that sent like private messages or personal message, whatever you call them, on PMs.
Yeah, just avoid the whole issue.
Pointing this out like it's some kind of revelation. And the thing is, like, no, we put that in the article and we put it up front that these were GameSpot readers taking this survey voluntarily that were just randomly solicited to take the survey. And that's, if you look at that and decide, yes, that makes the results, oh God.
Blue screen.
Hey, Justin.
Hello.
There you are. Can you fiddle with the camera knob there?
This camera?
Yeah. See if everything's plugged in there.
I see you.
Hey, there I am. Okay.
Magic touch.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of flickering, and I was like, should I call this out? I was like, no.
It's flickering
it's
again.
still flickering.
It's still flickering.
This is not great.
No. Oh, there you go.
Give it a quick slap.
Okay. Technical difficulties. You knew there would be. If this is the worst of them, then I'm considering myself lucky. What was I talking about?
You're talking about how
The samples, the survey,
unscientific.
unscientific.
Yes.
Oh.
It's media literacy. Like we tell this stuff to you. We're transparent about where it came from. You decide whether or not it's actually worth a damn. So, like, I'm aware.
Yeah.
Just get on with it.
Okay.
It was like over 2,000 people, right?
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good sized
Yeah.
sampling at least.
But there's always going to be people that are like, oh, well, maybe if it were 10,000.
Right.
Maybe if it were 200,000. Hey, they missed some guy in Angola. This is totally worthless.
Right.
Next topic. Microsoft FIFA scam.
Oh yeah.
I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm tired of everyone's frustrations, and it's not like I'm tired of these people who have been through a miserable time having their Xbox Live accounts hijacked and their credit cards racked up and all this awful hoops that they have to jump through to fix things. I'm just tired that it's still happening. This is like the red ring of death as far as I'm concerned, because it's a problem. Microsoft knows it's a problem, and they aren't doing what they should be doing to fix it. Caro, you were nodding vigorously, so I'm putting the camera on you.
I mean, yeah, you wrote a. Oh, I'm hearing myself. My headphones just freaked out. Anyway, I don't know if I sound okay to everyone else, but yeah, I mean, in your editorial, is it technically an editorial, right? You linked to and mentioned that's the experiences of that one woman that were documented on a blog and
hacked on Xbox.
Right. I mean, my God, just. It's just flabbergasting to me how inept Microsoft seems to be at handling this. I mean, it's one of the most infuriating customer experiences I've read about in a long time.
The scary thing for me, and the thing that I didn't really go into in depth in the editorial because it's so subjective, is how many of the people that are having their accounts abused, like what kind of overlap is there with these sort of services? You get the whales, you get the very small handful of users that provide so much of the revenue to
Right.
the companies.
The people spending $500, $600, $700 on these cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which EA used to boast about, but has been a little bit quieter about lately. So, I mean, I've heard a good number of people getting their money back. I've also heard a good number of people that are like, you know what, I'm tired of the hoops that I'm having to jump through. I'll just like whatever points were on there. I'm not gonna try and get the refund on that. Yeah. But you have to figure that a certain amount of the revenues derived from Xbox Live, FIFA Ultimate Team, all this stuff, even, Farmville, any kind of free-to-play sort of experience where that has those whales. The amount of revenue that comes from scammers has got to be greater than zero. And it bothers me that these companies don't seem inclined to do more to prevent that or to protect their customers.
They'll take your dirty money. Yeah.
Bothersome.
Yep.
Also bothersome. Story about threatened mass suicides.
Oh yeah.
By workers at Foxconn, the manufacturing plant where some Apple products are made. Microsoft makes the Xbox 360 there apparently.
Components or
Yeah, this is bothersome.
It's I mean, I couldn't agree more. I feel sort of disingenuous sometimes, even complaining about it as a member of Western society who enjoys my iPhone and my Xbox and everything. But it infuriated me when reports came out of the conditions for Apple workers and how Apple, people working on putting iPhones together were committing suicide just because the conditions, the treatment was just so inhumane and the compensation so poor. And, clearly that it's the same for the workers who build the Xbox 360s that we enjoy so much. And I mean, I guess it's probably one of those situations where nothing is going to change until and unless people, we as Western consumers say, look, Microsoft, we're not going to keep buying these products until you ensure that these conditions are significantly improved and the people are compensated fairly and yada, yada, yada. And that's never going to happen. But I wish that corporations would show more responsibility and humanity and treat these workers much, much more fairly than they are.
I can do that. I vow I won't buy another Apple product. There we go. Boom.
Thank you, Tom.
Notice there was no more of that sentence.
Yes.
No, nothing about not buying another Android product, another gaming system. No.
Is the Android stuff too bad too? Is this HTC?
This is basically everything. Like if you live.
So you're telling me corporations are evil? Huh. Wow.
I'm telling you, corporations certainly lend themselves to evil.
I mean, at a Fox, it's almost morbidly hilarious that like one of the measures this plant has taken is putting nets up to basically discourage or dissuade or make jumping off of the roof pointless.
Yeah.
And they made employees sign pledges that they would not kill themselves. I mean, can you imagine being in a work environment where, we need you to pledge to not commit suicide. Thank you. It's just
CBS didn't make you guys sign that?
Oh, not in our department. That's a news department thing, I think.
Understandable.
It's sickening.
Yeah. Do you guys think that as consumers of this, since it's our money that basically is going to fund this, like, where does our responsibility end? Like, because it seems that
Yeah.
If we buy any of the products that are being built there, we are partly responsible.
Right.
That's how I view it.
So how do we sleep at night?
Poorly. Restlessly.
On a bed of fine French linen.
That is, you are a gentleman and a scholar, Justin Calvert.
Yeah.
Moving on. This, I guess, probably we should have talked about before, but Sony has said no PlayStation 4 at E3. Just
you can just remove that prepositional phrase. Cut it right off.
No PlayStation 4.
Boom.
I don't think Sony's going to say that.
Just come right out and say it.
They may as well say no God of War ever again.
Well, that's going to happen, though.
Why?
Because they already partially announced it. Well, the resume with the dude working on the sound or whatever. That happened like a week ago.
Yeah, well, they've already hired hardware engineers for the next generation of PlayStation, haven't they?
It's not a conventional PlayStation.
I think it totally is.
Do you think it's just another box?
Yeah.
The 4 on it?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be disappointing.
I hope it still has the cool Spider-Man
They
font.
should just go right to the PS9 and give me the ball. Like the
Oh, yeah.
glowing energy ball.
Yes.
They've been working on that for
It's
12
been in
years,
R&D for
12 years, and we have it. Am I not helping much?
Not too much.
Yeah.
Moving on. Corrections, clarifications, subtractions, acknowledgments, updates, and apologies. So it turns out that Tom McShay was wrong about something
No
last week.
way.
What am I do?
Whoa.
Well,
This never happens.
you're in the QA threads for his reviews, aren't you?
Yeah.
So, Twisted Metal, the new one. Which installment in the series is it, Tom?
I said it is. Did I say it was 4? I said it was 4 or 5.
Oh, it's definitely not 4.
I said it was that because single track / incog, whatever the developer's called right now, like that they make Twisted Metal. 989 Studios, that doesn't count. That's a BS non-Twisted Metal. That's what I was saying. Am I being corrected for this?
Yeah.
Small Brawl is not actually part of it. I'm sorry, I don't consider Small Brawl. Also, the Zelda on CDI, not a real Zelda game. I'm gonna burst your bubble, guys.
Was Zelda on CDI in the Zelda timeline that Nintendo released?
Probably with their BS triple timeline. No, there's Twisted Metal 1, 2, I believe Black, and the new one are the only ones.
No, on the PlayStation
3 and 4
on the
and Small
PlayStation,
Brawl.
there were games after World Tour on
yes,
the PlayStation.
3, 4, and Small Brawl, but those are all 989 Studios.
Okay, that's your argument.
And those
I get
games
it.
are crappy.
Okay.
No, I mean you can count them if you want. Technically, there's more Twisted Metal games, but I don't count them. Single Track is the developer of Twisted Metal. Come on, are you serious?
How many
Tom's
Rocky
never
movies
wrong.
are
He
there?
just has different criterion to everyone else.
Well, no, I mean
That's right.
you can keep your Zelda CDI. I'm gonna keep the ones that are actually decent. I don't know. Those games stunk, so I just kind of ignored that they existed. Road Trip is closer to Twisted Metal than those other games are. It's the same developer.
Would you call that a Twisted Metal game?
It's closer to Twisted Metal, but no, it is not actually Twisted Metal.
What about Critical Depth?
No, that game sucked. Whoa, that game was bad. It was so hard to do anything, and it was slow. But no, I mean those are
76.
What was that?
Interstate 76.
Well, that's a ripoff of Twisted Metal.
game?
Or I guess I didn't actually play. I only played the console Vigilante 8. But so you consider 3, 4, and Small Brawl like in the?
I consider 3 and 4 Twisted Metal games.
But why not Small Brawl?
Because that's a spin-off.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't consider those.
Okay.
They're not good games. Give me a single track.
They're not good games.
That's just it.
They're still games.
Only good games are real games.
Well, they gotta be. No,
I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If it's gotta be Jaffe. It's gotta be single track. It's gotta be whatever.
You say so. 10 years ago this week.
Oh, fun! I love this.
I know you've brought up this thing with other games before, where you just like, that's whatever. What is that? It's crap. It's nothing.
Fine.
I can't believe I was corrected on that. I thought that was obvious that what I was getting at.
Oh, Tom.
10 years ago this week, this game received a 7.9. The latest game from Sega's United Game Artists. It has a lot in common with the developer's last game, Space Channel 5. Like Space Channel, this game is very easy to pick up and play. It oozes with a unique sense of audio-visual style, and it's a game that you can finish in under an hour. How much enjoyment you'll get out of this far-out shooter depends on your priorities. 7.9.
The closest thing is Rez, but that's not 10 years ago. Is it? I'm trying to do math now.
Is that your final answer?
I thought Rez was 12 years ago.
Rez on PlayStation 2.
Is this Rez?
10 years ago this week.
I can't even rip on that score because I didn't like it on the PS2, but it is one of my 10 favorite games ever now because the Xbox Live version.
Res HD.
It didn't click for me on the PS2. I don't know. Man, that's weird. That game's good.
Yeah.
Mutin's very good.
7.9. Good.
I was shocked at the 7.9.
Yeah, I probably would have given it like this roughly the
It's
same
so
score. It didn't
I mean,
click.
it's so short. I don't know. I can
I've
see
played
this.
so many hours of
Yeah,
this.
no, I think it's something special, but
Well, it's
I can see why
favorite
why it got
games
that score.
ever. Res HD. Yeah, that game is made for downloadable HD era.
Okay.
It's ahead of its time.
Email. Lord Bahamut S. Dragons writes in. Just wanted your opinion on something. Is it me or our HUDs? I assume heads-up displays. Either that or he misspelled chuds. On game screenshots coming from official sources going away. It really annoys me. I'm trying to see how the game might work in the presentation, and all they're showing are the pretty pictures, which don't seem representative of the gameplay, but rather the graphics engine, and even then, some just feel pre-rendered. I want gameplay. HUDs are gameplay. Give me gameplay.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Well, yeah, they release bull shots, don't they?
Yeah, that's what we call
them.
them.
We affectionately call them, and it's the problem is that a lot of the time it's not even the in-game camera angle, is it? It's just kind of. And we always, I mean, I know in reviews certainly we always try and use our own shots for that exact reason. It's like, the bull shots look really, really nice, but they don't really give you any idea what the game looks like.
Do you think it's a problem that's getting worse? Because I mean, this is kind of just the way I feel like things have been since like the late PS1 Dreamcast era.
I think it might have gotten worse, yeah, because now, I mean, people, they put so much effort into all the sort of character models and all that kind of stuff, and it's, like, my character in, oh no, that's a bad example, but, characters in a lot of games, I mean, think of like a Fallout game, right? Like, if you get the bull shots for that, I'm sure there are probably shots out there that show great camera angles, look very cinematic, and when you start that game,
humans that don't look like total mutants.
Well, you can spend an hour making that human that looks like a mutant, and it doesn't matter because you will never see his face. But in the bull shots, you probably will because they're trying to sell it as like a character or something. And like, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, the bull shots always look great, don't they? And
yes.
I love taking screenshots, and it's a weird fetish of mine. Just like, if I need 10 screenshots of a game, I will take 500 and pick the best 10.
I will take 500 and I will just upload all 500.
Does anyone else play like? Yeah, you do.
I do.
That is annoying. Does anyone else, when they're playing Fallout, just swing the camera so they get the cool cinematic view?
Oh yeah.
That's all I'd do.
I love any game that gives me camera angles and it's not like action. I love to, in the quiet moments, just kind of, just get a nice dramatic camera angle, kind of pretend that I'm directing a movie or something.
Especially because I was wearing Benny's jacket in New Vegas, and that's a sharp jacket. People who play New Vegas know Benny's jacket. I think it gives you charisma up the yin-yang. It's a lot of charisma.
That would be a lot of charisma.
Ran from Israel, AG1. He writes in and says, first off, is there a possibility of coercing Brendan into doing a 2011 blooper reel episode? And I actually, if I had more time this morning, I was planning to put some in my Dropbox, bring them onto this computer, and then just play them while we listen to them in the studio. So I've got some. I've listened to them lately, and they are terrible. Next time I substitute host, maybe.
That's a promise you can take to the bank.
You can't tease people like tease people like that and then not deliver.
Are you kidding? Who's still waiting for the Catherine spoiler cast?
Okay.
L.A. Noire?
Fair
No?
point.
We didn't do an LA Noire one.
No,
do an
I
Old
was
Republic
like,
one.
I was the only
LA Noire?
after the game came out. Very few people in the office even played the game, and most people who played it, weren't that enthusiastic about it. So it just didn't come together.
That's the most shocking of all, because we left off Witcher 2 also.
Yep.
I don't know. Not enough people played Witcher 2 though. Only Curtis and Kevin really finished it.
I tried. I still intend to try again, but I can't get past that first battle near the ballista.
Oh, really? Oh.
That took me a few attempts.
Yeah,
as well.
I mean, I haven't tried that much, but it's kind of it's a tough entry point. It's like, I'm just not feeling it.
I'm 2/3 of the way through. I might get back to it.
Spoiler cast coming. Maybe.
Yeah, right after the Catherine and L.A. Noire ones. Let's see. Yeah, we can try and end it here. No.
What about trivia? What about hot? What is it called?
Boy, you are not filling Magrino's shoes very well. You are.
Do trivia.
Why? How many times did Magrino host and not bother with phone calls?
Well,
most.
The entire point of substitute hosting the podcast is that you undermine whatever it is that the main host is trying to do.
Yeah.
You take his vision for the show and then pervert it into something unrecognizable. When do you guys want to host next week?
A little bit now. Now that I know that I can do that.
Now that I know I can pervert stuff. So no pop quiz hotspot this week. I figure substitute teachers always go easy on the class anyways, so.
Yay.
There you go. No pop quiz. If you have a comment, question, correction, or clarification, you can email it to hotspot@gamespot.com or give us a call at 1-877-506-8324. That's 1-877...
John Tech.
Something 4.
John Tech.
7-4.
Thank you.
Something.
Thank you, Kara.
And how do you spell John Tech?
That's J0N.
Of course it is.
TECH.
Just a mess.
Yeah.
By the way, the other bounty hunter class, specialized class, advanced class, is called the Power Tech.
That's it. Yeah, and that one can be a tank or a DPS.
Oh, more
I still don't know what
MMO talk.
DPS is. I don't know.
That's a good word for our new on the spot feature. We're doing a vocabulary feature
Vocabularium?
Vocabularium, yes.
Yeah.
So watch for that, people.
Tomorrow.
We'll teach you new gaming words.
Tomorrow at an earlier time.
Yeah. 11 a.m. PST. Which I believe is 2 p.m. Eastern time.
Contrary to rumors on the homepage.
Yes.
2 p.m. EST, not 1 p.m. EST.
Yes.
Yeah. One more plug. The Tekken Blow by Blows movie review.
Oh, so good.
I did this thing. I did not have the podcast to use as like a bully pulpit to shamelessly promote it. It's a movie review for the Tekken live action movie that came out. Do a search on the site for Tekken Blow by Blows or something like that. You'll find it. It's also in the Street Fighter X Tekken game space. Yeah, it's just me talking about that movie for like 12 minutes, which is probably more than it deserves.
That sounds great.
It is great. I mean, Brendan is super knowledgeable both about the game and the games, I should say, and I don't know. I don't know much about Tekken, and I found it super entertaining.
Well, thank you, Carol.
Yeah.
And I am, and this might be a promise alongside the L.A. Noire and Catherine and Witcher 2 spoiler casts. Yeah. But I have started watching the Jean-Claude Van Damme Street Fighter movie, taking notes, listening to the director's commentary.
Oh my God, there's a DVD with director's commentary for that movie?
Yes. And
wow.
Even better, they pulled it from the Laserdisc version.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's so great just to hear Stephen E. D'Souza just talk about how great Laserdisc is and how it's going to take off and change the industry. It's like, yeah. Makes me smile. That will do it for the podcast, though. I would like to thank Justin Calvert.
I would like to plug my new comic strip, which is you'll never find it.
No.
It's on my blog, blogs are a bit broken right now. But there's a comic strip on there that I did, and I will be doing more, maybe.
It's a lot of
there you go.
Strong maybes.
I'll say no more.
Okay. Tom McShay, what are you plugging?
I got nothing to plug. I don't know. I got nothing.
Okay. And Carolyn Pettit.
I'm working on a review of a game that will be up on the site soon. It's a game. It's called War of Immortals. It's a free-to-play MMO. Review will be up. I don't know, at some point. Watch for it.
When two immortals fight, no one dies. Yeah. It's a really lame game. That's all I can. Well, it's a really lame name.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yes.
My rhymes got ahead of me.
Tied in a fight to the death.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will see you again next week on GameSpot Presents the Hotspot. So what else does Magrino do?
Hotspot out!
Wow, that was really loud.
Sorry.
I had the headphones off. I knew it was coming.